Are already well into September. Hello everybody and welcome to a special Labor Day weekend edition of World Cup qualification here on Fox Sports World from Foxboro, Massachusetts. The United States plays host to El Salvador. So glad you could join us for Fox Sports.
Take a look at Claudia Reyna, the captain, and Brian Ching getting the start up top.
Indeed, big move there, and the El Salvadorian team that they will face features not too many faces we're familiar with.
No, but Rivera's going to be in the goal. Lively, likes to get around, he's very mobile, good with his feet as well. Velasquez, the captain, is going to be busy today, trying to hold it down in the back. Rodriguez on the wing, and then you see Cerritos up top there, the ex-MLS player.
All right, so El Salvador, young but very game as they look to perhaps take and seize complete control of this group by getting a victory against the mighty Americans here in Foxboro. Join us, folks, for this very important match here in September of 2004. The United States, loaded with talent these days, cannot have a letdown. Had a very nice record in this stadium in the past. They'll look to keep that intact. U.S. in white. Here's Carlos Bocanegra, one of several players to come over from Europe. That list, John, is growing every day of European-based players. A wonderful thing to see if you're a U.S. soccer fan.
So many opportunities now for the players that are really taking advantage of it. And, you know, basically the game's becoming such a global game, and everyone's looking now to the U.S. market for players.
Latest, of course, including Bobby Convey, who is out there as a left back. There's a player down for El Salvador, and that is going to be Alfredo Pacheco, their left-sided defender. So here in the opening minute, time to tend to Pacheco. And what are we going to see here from the United States, John? I know you spoke with Coach Bruce Arena earlier today. What are we going to see for them to conjure up some opportunities here to score?
Well, obviously they need to build on what they did down in Jamaica, tying that game 1-1. Ching, a big important part of that, coming onto the game, bringing loads of energy, and they need to start off straight away with the energy today. Bring that confidence, get the ball played in behind them as much as possible, try to turn this El Salvadorian defensive side, and if they can, they've got to be very wary of not to leave that space in behind. They don't want to push too many players forward and leave those gaps, because El Salvador's a good side.
A good side, and a point here would be huge, so certainly defense will be served, and at times maybe the combination of Cerritos and Galdamez will be left isolated a bit, but it is El Salvador with the free kick here. And Pacheco will sit out for a moment. Prado swings it in off the left foot. Some work to be done by Corey Gibbs. He lets it go to Tim Howard. Tim Howard, of course, manning the nets for Manchester United. Here's Convey. He'll be given license to run a fair bit up the left side. Brian Ching, the native of America's 50th state, making a huge impact in his last appearance, where he came on as a sub to get that point in the office against Jamaica. Zavagnin filling in for Chris Armas, has played well for the red, white, and blue. Now the charge by Cherundolo, free kick. The left and right back spots are very big here, John, for the United States, and so far we're seeing them use them.
Bruce Arena early on saying that he wanted to try to play as like a 4-2-2-2 type situation to allow the outside backs to really get forward, exploit the space, and try to create a little bit more of an attack going wide. And if they can do that, they can turn it, especially against an El Salvador team who's going to be really compact early in this game.
The United States can make El Salvador come unglued with an early goal. Savagnin, then headed out by Velasquez. Velasquez again. Number 5, one to watch for El Salvador, scored that first goal against Panama. Leads very well from the defensive spot, can also play in the back of the midfield. There it goes from Bocanegra. Zavagnin. Last time they met, of course, was in the Gold Cup. Here you see it, the United States beating El Salvador 2-0. Eddie Lewis and Brian McBride, the scores on the day. Here's Kerry Zavagnin. Remember the Kansas City Wizards. Back to the near side, Bocanegra, who scored for Fulham in his last league match. When they lost a Monday ago, 4-3. Beasley. Connor Casey touched away from behind. That was Denis Alas. Zavagnin. Plenty of possession here. Cherundolo. Ching. Two big center forwards there to pick from for the U.S. Combi in front. 1-0 USA. It's Brian Ching with his second international goal in as many matches.
What a brilliant setup there. Very patient from the U.S. team, knocking the ball around through the midfield, taking their time and dissecting the Salvador team, who really didn't come out and play at all. What a brilliant finish by Ching. Good ball by Bobby Convey.
What a dream start for the United States, and you hit it right on the nail. Apparently El Salvador weren't primed like the U.S. were.
U.S. came out just like Bruce Arena wanted them to, and that's with loads of confidence, playing with energy and attacking. And this is a great service here. You see how they're very patient, good build-up, and this is why Bobby Convey's on in the left-back position. We talked about how he can get forward, and there's the space and a great service in there for Ching.
Only his fourth cap here for Ching, and already 2 goals are coming again. Pushed wide by Connor Casey. A man from Hawaii, injured most of last season for league play, fought back, an unknown a couple of years ago, given an opportunity on the club stage and now on the international stage. He's a big target, and if he show that skill in the area, he's going to find a home here on this U.S. squad from here and into the World Cup.
He's a very dynamic player. He's got size and strength. He's got great work ethic up top, but technically very sound as well. And you can see that on his finishing. It's a brilliant finish.
Onside ball, but Beasley's there to get it back to Howard. Casey Keller, who has started the last 3 matches for the U.S. But we have heard, John, that they're going to probably rotate the keepers from this match and, of course, the Wednesday affair in Panama City.
Yeah, with Tim Howard as well. He's going to be a very busy man with Manchester United. Got Bolton next weekend, and then they're going to be playing in the Champions League as well. So he's going to be very scarce in terms of getting back here with the U.S. And Bruce Arena got a great goalkeeper, Casey Keller, we know from Tottenham Hotspur as well.
It's going to be a free kick for El Salvador, won by Eric Prado. It was Casey from behind it. Could have gone either way there. Oh, you mentioned Casey Keller. Of course, he's on the books at Tottenham Hotspur, but lost the #1 job to Paul Robinson, so he really will get a chance to strut his stuff on the international stage. And he's not going to have too much problem, speaking for Bruce Arena here, getting the services of Keller from Spurs in that case.
Well, I mean, Casey's, he's done it, every single year for the U.S. national team at the highest level. And for the last 2 years, basically has played tremendously every single game for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, they've had an up-and-down season over the last year. And with him going to Paul Robinson now, and as you say, lack of playing time is going to give him an opportunity to come in here, be available for the U.S. squad with Bruce Arena, and probably do a rotating goalkeeper situation.
Plenty of good keepers to choose from. It doesn't really end with just those 2. As we saw another chance for Brian Ching a moment ago, but there was Santos Rivera, who plays at Limeño in El Salvador. Of course, the Salvadorian League off and running in its early stages, so these players have been getting experience there. The squad is completely made up of players there. We certainly recognize a guy like Ronald Cerritos, as Convey through in a very late challenge, a bookable offense. Things going right for the U.S. and Bobby Convey making a huge difference. Yellow card for Denis Alas.
Yeah, this is just a late tackle from Alas. He's really an attacking player on the wing, likes to take players on. Not the best defensive player for El Salvador, but you see there just coming in late to the tackle.
Claudio Reyna, based there at Manchester City. Such a valuable player in that midfield. Of course, he can be the U.S. playmaker, but he can play a more defensive role. We may see him do that with Landon Donovan featuring a little more as a central creative force. Beasley didn't get all of it, but enough to get to Combi. Combi, another cross. Ching, looked like it glanced off the arm. It did. Free kick for El Salvador.
That's a situation there, Max, where I would like to see Steve Cherundolo on the opposite side, pushing forward from a right-back position, and maybe Bobby Convey could switch that over, just one more extra pass, just to open up the situation inside the box. see how compact they are in defense. El Salvador right away, they're on their heels.
What's their game plan? We see the two coaches, Bruce Arena, Juan Ramon Paredes. Pacheco stepping in to knock that away. Boca Negra. He used to be a left back, but more these days playing in a central role. Kind of a good future there. Zavagnin. There is Boca Negra. Great ball for Cherundolo, who's got oodles of space. Now El Salvador try to react. It's up to Brian Ching. 2 international goals in 4 international appearances. That's quite an average. Zavagnin. Corey Gibbs. Now Combi is hoping to do as little defending as possible in that left back role as U.S. get all the possession and a free kick. The late tackle by Mario Guevara, one of the more experienced players on this El Salvadorian squad. Just doing exactly what they were hoping to do here. Get the early goal. They could get another one. El Salvador will be completely out of whack. They're not really built to chase from behind. Ball by Donovan for Connor Casey, who takes out the keeper, Rivera. Didn't really see the keeper. And you can tell by the look on Connor Casey's face, there was no intent there. He was going for that ball.
That's just a brave player just going for the ball. I mean, that's just pure focus right there from Connor Casey. This is why Bruce Arena has him in the lineup. Take a look again there. A great swerving ball, teasing cross really for the keeper to come out. And that's just a 50-50 challenge in the air.
And there's why we see Connor Casey in this squad for Bruce Arena. He likes that bravery and that courage illustrated there. Rivera still on the deck as we see the striker who hasn't played all that much for new club FSV Mainz, who are now promoted to Bundesliga 1. In case Santos Rivera cannot continue, Miguel Montes is the backup keeper.
Never really can tell, can you, from the actions on the field. They always talk about the soccer players around the world can get the Oscars, can't they, for the acting debuts.
And there is Miguel Montes, but this has been quite some time. Santos Rivera, who is really struggling. Why we do have a moment, reminder of what we'll see from the United States. Their squad getting ready for 2 matches. Here's the starting 11, 7 changes from the 11 that played versus Jamaica, some due to rotation issues, some due to injuries. A lot of the players are on the bench that played in that game. Of course, Casey Keller, Frankie Haydock started there. Greg Vanny, another option on the left back spot that Bruce Arena is very high on. Eddie Lewis, Clint Mathis, Kobe Jones, Brian McBride. Now, is there anyone on this squad that surprises you for their either inclusion or exclusion?
Well, no, I think that Bruce Arena has given an opportunity to a young Corey Gibbs, playing at Dallas Burn. I think that's great. I mean, Corey's a very good, strong defender. Loads of pace at the back. As we spoke about before, Max, the average age of the back line today is 22 years old. So, I mean, Bruce is really going to go away against Panama and probably make some changes in the back and bring in a guy like Eddie Pope, who's not 100% right now. But what he does bring is loads of experience, obviously, and he's a great one-on-one defender. No big surprises here. I believe that Bruce made a good decision starting Ching up top. Brian McBride has not had a lot of time overseas playing for Fulham. He's been coming in maybe the last 20 minutes at times, 15 minutes. So Brian Ching is fresh. He's got loads of confidence. Goal scorer from the last game against Jamaica. And linking up with Landon Donovan, those two. I mean, in San Jose Earthquakes, brilliant combination. They understand each other so well. It's great to have them both on the field for the U.S. Nationals.
It's going to be hard to get Brian Ching out of that position right now after what he has done as the issue with Santos Rivera continues. He's lying on his stomach. They've been very cautious about moving him in any way. I don't think there's any issue there because he has been moving around his neck. But he continues to lie on the deck. And right now, as you have seen, Miguel Montes up on the sideline. Maybe watch the landing. I think that's where the injury may have occurred.
Yeah, he seemed to have just fallen back on his hip. Really, I thought it was a shoulder at first, but it looks like he fell backwards. Just kind of knocked off balance there by Brian Ching's challenge.
Given a lot of time to get back on his feet, and he's going to do everything to stay in the match, I am sure. As we have had stoppage here for about 5 minutes. calisthenics, whatever it will take for Santos Rivera. This is an interesting thing because if it's a field player, you go to the sideline, you continue on, but there are rules in place to protect the goalkeeper. Now this long stop, who do you think this favors?
I think it definitely favors El Salvador. You could tell the U.S. started very brightly in this game, came out with loads of attacking options, wide, inside. You know, Bobby Convey mixed up with DeMarcus Beasley, who's over at PSV Eindhoven now as well. Those two combining on the outside of the left side. Beasley, 2 goals in 5 games for PSV Eindhoven, coming back in here, loads of energy, just put a ball in the field and this guy's going to dazzle you.
All right, we're back to play here, and immediately another stoppage as Cherundolo was bumped by Ronald Cerritos. Cherundolo, the 25-year-old, playing at Hanover 96, the same club as Clint Mathis, who has some injury concerns. Originally from San Diego. This is his 21st appearance for the United States. Bocanegra. Take some space here. He's an everyday player for Fulham. Savagnin. Dangerous ball taken by Convey, who got on his horse to get there. Reyna. Pressure here from El Salvador, keep it in the back, but now something opens up. Chested down by Ching. Casey. Reyna. Donovan on the right flank. Goes to Cherundolo. That may open up things for Donovan, who's been a marked man early on. Beasley. Convey. Back to Beasley. He's going to be a busy man. PSV Eindhoven with a busy calendar. It's cross it. Ching. Goal kick. Well, we saw the United States touching that ball around there, John. They did something here to that stadium at the beginning that you certainly did like, that may have helped for that ball movement.
Absolutely. They had the sprinkler system come on, Max, and just making the surface a little bit more wet and a bit slick, you know, in order to knock the ball around quicker. And we see this all around the world, especially in the EPL, where they do wet the surface there, and it allows the team to actually ping the ball that much faster. Technically, you know, our team is very talented. They're sound in that regard. So, you know, controlling that ball, you might see it slip away from a few players today, but it's going to be better for the U.S. to ping it faster.
That's what they want to do. Gibbs wins it in the back. Casey. Reyna. It's judged by Beasley. Some work to be done by Guevara. Gets it up to Alas. Alas and Edwin Gonzalez, they wanted them to fly forward, but they haven't given a chance. Really, our referee, Neil Brisson, I don't think we introduced him, from Trinidad and Tobago, had a choice of fouls to pick from. He wants a word with Bobby Convey. It's going to be more than just a word, though. And you can hear a good contingent of those Salvadorian fans cheering that decision.
Not so sure about that tackle being a yellow card. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of instances throughout this game as it becomes a bit more physical that there may be opportunities for a referee to maybe give another yellow card, but that wasn't really a booking situation for Bobby Convey.
Velasquez. Prado. Pacheco. Murgas. It's about as long of a stretch that El Salvador has had ball here. We're also being informed now Bruce Arena got a yellow card, I guess for defending Bobby Convey in that situation. Here's Beasley. Look at these two flyers on the left. Beasley. On a back cross, but it's behind the goalpost. In fact, they don't give yellow cards to the coaches. Just a warning from the fourth official to cool as jets.
This just in.
This fresh off the presses as we look at the work rate of Beasley. First they get Convey involved, now Beasley up the left flank. Got to work on the crosses.
Well, that's something that PSV Eindhoven, that technically he's going to be pressured every single day, every week, you know, to be productive in that area of the field. And when he does all the hard work, DeMarcus, and we know that he's very good. He's got lots of energy and pace, but in terms of his technical ability, he's got to really improve that situation. Hopefully PSV Eindhoven will help him do that.
Finally, the move for Beasley to Europe after we heard he might be headed to Spanish football. I know Sevilla was there on the top of his list, as well as England. Finally to Holland. And the Dutch league not that impressive, but PSV Eindhoven aside, that'll get you a lot of big games. Throw in for El Salvador. Really laboring to get the touches in, but they'll be patient. Oh, classy defending there from Bocanegra. Great skills for a center back. Now Convey, not all the way through, intercepted by Jorge Rodriguez, one of the wily members of this El Salvadorian squad. Nice ball by Beasley. Casey keeps his feet. Oh! Something in the upper body, perhaps, that drew the whistle. I'd have to see it again. So tight.
This is good understanding between the two. I'm not so sure about that foul, but that's a great run from Connor Casey, who really makes up the mind of DeMarcus Beasley. When he starts off like that, makes that run in behind, that diagonal, it's such a dangerous run to get and split the defense for the center backs.
A delicate little touch that got whistled there. Long ball finds its man, Alas. Gotta be careful if you're the United States. El Salvador outclassed early on, but after that long delay due to the injury to Santos Rivera, they've taken a little air out of this match and now getting more possession. Bocanegra. Cerritos. Alas. Touched out by DeMarcus Beasley. Well, since the United States have had matches here in the Boston area beginning in 1991, the U.S. men's team has an 11-1-3 record in Norfolk County. As that ball comes up to Galdamez. Offside here on Alas. That one loss was 2-0 to the Netherlands. Before the 2002 World Cup.
Right, and I think that actually helped the U.S. team. I think a lot of people out there might think that might have been a negative situation before the World Cup, but it actually helped fine-tune a lot of things. And Bruce Arena, speaking to him about that, it actually helped point out what the weaknesses were and how they were going to move forward into the World Cup from there. So really did a good job from them.
Depending on the time of the year, it also provides a climate advantage for the United States. Not so today. It couldn't be a better day. Nice cool air. Few clouds. That's onside for Cerritos. Corey Gibbs to defend. Cerritos waiting for help. Gibbs got a piece of it. It's not cleared. Rodriguez.
Well, we got to talk about, pushing those numbers forward. You can't leave the open space in behind. And El Salvador, although I look at them, I don't think they're that technically gifted as a side, and you saw that there, just in the opportunity really to get a good strike on goal and test Tim Howard from distance, but they've got to make sure that they're marking up in behind, closing down those spaces.
Still something to build on if you're El Salvador, and things to be concerned about if you're the United States. After that blistering beginning, Reina. Corey Gibbs played at FC St. Pauli in Hamburg before joining the Dallas Burn at 24. He has a bright future on the international scene, no doubt. Maybe teaming up with this man on a permanent basis, Bocanegra. Beasley, the touch for Zavagnin. His ball intercepted by Velasquez. It comes back to Kerry Zavagnin, who goes right up the middle lane. Getting stuck in there was Beasley. You can hear the thud, and they will stop play for a moment. And everyone holds their breath here.
That looked like an awkward situation there, Max, actually. He looks like he's hurting pretty bad.
You can hear it. It's Rodriguez coming through. Oh, and he got him upstairs, downstairs, midsection, you name it.
Just a follow through there, trying to switch the point of attack from El Salvador, but going back to the chance that they just had, really disappointed in Rodriguez, one of the veteran players on the side. You think he's going to have a little bit of a better situation to get a strike on goal there, and kind of letting his team down. That's the only chance they've had in the really defensive third for the U.S. team.
And there you have it. And let's face it, Beasley, about 145, 150 pounds? Not a big man out there. He's brave as anything, but There's a big collision. He hasn't got a lot of protecting his frame. And we'll keep an eye on Bruce Arena if he has to get the bench moving. No signs of activity just yet. Again, a pretty exciting bench, the 23-man squad. 18 will be used here, 11 as starters, 7 reserves. Some young players are on the squad, like Eddie Johnson, that are going to get an opportunity to train with the side. That's going to be exciting for the 20-year-old for Dallas, who's played very well. Oguchi Nyewu, another one.
It's all good. Good situation really for those players to get an opportunity to go in there, but when you go back to Bruce Arena, that's part of his plan for the future. Really give these guys an experience, get them involved, to see what it's like on this top stage. When you're playing for your U.S. national team and you wear that uniform, it's such an honor, and you have to be very proud, and you've got to come out and perform.
Cannot fault anything that Bruce Arena has done in the last few years. Eddie Lewis is up on the bench, and there may be a change in here. And is there going to be another booking here? It's some concern here on the near sideline with the 4th official. And off is Juan Ramon Paredes, and he's lost his cool. This has had red card. A red card has been shown to Denis Alas. I don't know if it's a straight red. And we've lost a little bit of a control here. Water and other objects being pelted onto the Gillette Stadium pitch. I did not see what happened. Alas was carrying a yellow. I don't know if it was a second yellow or a straight red, but he's got second yellow, I'm being told now.
I think the coach really needs to settle down here in this situation, show his team a little bit of professionalism. I don't think he's setting a good example right now, letting things get out of order.
I'm not sure if Paredes has been thrown out of the match either. And it's been a first half already marred with a lot of really awful incidents. The injury that took about 5 minutes, and this is going to take another 5. They better have a couple digits showing on that stoppage time indicator. We might require it. And this match has been brought to a screeching halt, I'm afraid. It started with the tackle, or really not really a tackle, a fight for possession between Jorge Rodriguez and DeMarcus Beasley, and it's led to this.
Well, this is a positive sign from the U.S. side. You know, if they're looking at this, they've got to really start focusing on what they're going to do next. The U.S. cannot really be looking at El Salvador, the coach or anything, and worrying about their problems. Let them be unfocused. Let them lose their cool. Let them be torn apart themselves. They can break themselves down, so the U.S. really got to focus on their own play.
And we will get to the bottom of all this for you momentarily, folks. Let you know exactly what has just happened. In El Salvador, I'm not sure if people are getting up on the bench. Diego Mejia is being asked by his teammates to get back on, as some of the players as reserves are getting involved. It's really a bad break for El Salvador, but really create your own luck at times.
This is a shame, really. It was such a great start for the U.S., and you know, it's not ruining the game totally, but obviously, from El Salvador's point of view, when you lose your cool this early in the game, it could really set things up for the rest of the afternoon. And it doesn't look like it's going to be such a good day for El Salvador so far.
Down a man, it's going to complicate things beyond belief as you see Alas leaving. And I believe his coach, Paredes, is following him through the tunnel as well. So El Salvador down a man and out of a coach. And we're back to action. We'll go back to Santos Rivera. Here's Rodriguez. Pacheco. Well, it'll be a Herculean effort for El Salvador to, A, get up back into this match, or at least get one goal. losing one of their more attack-minded players in Alas. Bocanegra. Combi. Again, Bocanegra will take what they give him. Gibbs. Out of the reach of Reyna, but he'll get there. Well, El Salvador came into this match with high hopes, getting a big win against Panama on the road in a match where they were down a man, no less. They were actually playing with 10 for the whole second half and about 3 minutes of the first half. And they still managed to get a victory there, but this is a different thing altogether, playing the United States squad.
True, that was a good victory for them over a good Panama side. Very organized and a good work ethic in that team, but yeah, it's a different situation here. We got a really big, huge fan base here with the U.S. team as well as El Salvador, but the U.S. playing confident. Right away, look at his chance in here for Ching, and I can foresee that opening up even more for the strikers in the U.S. team as this game goes on.
Brian Ching getting a fair bit of chances, as is Connor Casey for that matter. Zavagnin. Maybe the only concern for Bruce Arena at this early stage is the amount of touches Landon Donovan's getting, which is very few thus far.
Very few, as well as Claudio Reyna. I'd like to see the ball really get into their feet early on so they can start really choreographing this situation with the U.S., especially when they go forward. Those two are so dynamic on the ball and great touches as well. I'd like to see the ball, and I know that Kerry Savagnin tried to play that early ball over the top to Connor Casey running through and Brian Ching and lost possession. I think that's where Bruce Arena wants a little bit more patience, try to hold that ball and create something to feed.
Here is Reyna. Ching, Donovan, with two San Jose Earthquake players getting involved there. Now Beasley, good to see him out there. He'll challenge the El Salvador defense, brought down at the edge of the 18. It looked like there was a lot of body from Pacheco. No whistle.
Pacheco totally played the man there, didn't even look at the ball, just rode him off. I mean, there's always, you can have a shoulder charge, we know that, especially at the international level. Referees tend to let things slide a little bit more. It didn't look like really an attempt to play the ball, did it?
No, and I tell you what, half an hour into the match, and one of the talking points has to be the officiating of Leo Brizan. Right or wrong, he's been right in the middle of things, including already showing a red card. Trying to get loose there is Edwin Gonzalez. He's a pacey player on the left.
Just before that play, Max, we'd like to see, really Claudio Reyna. We know he's a good passer of the ball. We'd really like to see him keep possession a little bit more, because what happens now is if El Salvador does get more of the momentum, you don't want it to switch that quickly in this game.
The momentum is switching a fair bit already. Prado, who plays for AD Isidro. By the way, fans of the El Salvadorian League, you'll be happy to know Firpo on top of the ladder. Combi. Casey for Ching. Play's not over yet. Ching's going to get there. He needs an outlet. He'll get a throw-in. You happy with those standings? Are you a little concerned where Fas is?
I'm a big fan of Firpo. Big fan. Huge fan. My son Ian loves that team.
Hey, as a result, it gets all the good merchandise. There's the cross from Cherundolo, blocked by Gonzalez. Another throw for the U.S. Landon Donovan. Knocked away by Galdamez. Cherundolo. You gotta like what he's done. He's won a free kick. The foul by Murgas. Reyna. Prado. Bocanegra. Beasley turning it on in the 18, the cross, Casey. The U.S.
fantastic play by DeMarcus Beasley. Really just put his head down, and I like when he makes that decision early. He's very decisive. I'm gonna take the ball and run at somebody. When you attack somebody like that, you put them on their heels. Good ball, a little bit in behind Connor Casey there, but he did get a foot on it, and a good save by the keeper.
Reyna, a bit heavy on the cross. Casey gets underneath it, looking for Corey Gibbs. I thought Eddie Pope was out there for a moment. Now the turn by Galdamez. Loses it to Zavagnin, and Zavagnan's putting in a nice work rate all over the place. Plenty of space now on the right for Landon Donovan, playing as a right back. Zavagnin, native of Michigan. Casey. Cherundolo. He's been battling Chris Albright for that right back spot for the U.S. Combi. Beasley. Tripped up a bit there by Murgas. Reyna. Just spraying that ball around all over the pitch. Short pass, long pass, you name it. Now Casey behind the defense. And Donovan was one step away from able to get that cross in. Throw in instead for the U.S.
So important for the U.S. right now to keep continuing to get that movement off the ball, get that ball played in quickly to feet. You don't want to really be risking a situation where you're going to get tackled in the box here.
Donovan!
Just don't want to risk injury at this point. Got to get the ball moving off your feet early on. And you can see El Salvador, they're a heated team. They're coming out, they're going to try to defend as much as possible, but they're not holding back in the tackles, Max.
Zavagnin, we'll see if that escalates in any way here. Cherundolo. Zavagnin. Of course, filling in for Chris Armas. The U.S. really deep enough these days where, as good as Chris is, they can continue on without really missing a beat. Still, you ask Bruce Arena, he would love to have Chris Armas out there. Here's Convey, Beasley, the turn, Beasley, the shot, corner kick.
Beasley trying to get a good turn in there. Quick turn as well, forcing another situation where Claudio Reyna steps up for the corner. Good ball in the box.
There was Ching. Convey, plenty of players to choose from. Ching! The Hawaiian Superman. Maybe forcing El Salvador to look for a nice brick of kryptonite. It'll be a goal kick for Santos Rivera. El Salvador really in a bind right now. Looking for an answer, trailing by a goal here. Heading into the 38th minute, there's going to be a ton of stoppage time here. So a long way yet to go in this first half. Bocanegra judged it perfectly. Chi provides such great size, and now Reyna didn't hit it right. He had Landon Donovan wide open on the right flank.
What a great opportunity that was to play to Landon. We just talked about how Landon now is more as a right-sided player instead of his normal attacking midfielder or even as a striker, where he's more in the center of the pitch. You make those diagonal runs in behind, but that's a situation where Claudio's just got to take care better of the ball there and just move it and get it in behind.
Reyna, Ching, did well there. Zavagnin. Convey. Casey. Oh, he squirts up the end line. Late whistle, but a whistle nonetheless. The foul by Velasquez.
It's a big player right there with good touch, huh? Good feet. Used his balance well to get around two defenders there, trying to shut him down in the corner. Did a very good job of drawing the foul. Sets up another opportunity for the U.S. Another scoring opportunity.
In essence, a very short corner kick here. Reyna to take it. Watch Combi on the near flank curling around. He may be another option to cross it in. He's already proven to be a wonderful crosser of the ball, assisting on the only goal of the match. It's Reyna, and it's Bocanegra.
A lot of physical play going on in there. They're pushing and pulling. Not getting a lot of freedom inside. Plenty of targets to hit, though. You got Bocanegra, Ching, Connor Casey, good size. A lot of energy in the box. Corey Gibbs coming forward as well. Many options for the U.S. on the attack.
There is Gibbs with a defensive header. Cherundolo into the path of Cerritos. A big block, though, by Corey Gibbs, and the United States will be given a chance to clear it here. Landon Donovan flying up the right. Landon Donovan in the 18. The shot is, my, closer than I thought at first. A track meet. Where are the batons?
Great vision from Claudio Reina to recognize Landon in the space, put that ball quickly over the top and a quick free kick. And look at that chance, just wide. I love to see Landon cutting inside on defenders like this. Very hard to stop him when he's running at you.
We did see Ching making a run in the 18 as well. That could have been an option. Those two, of course, teammates in San Jose. This is a Major League Soccer, speaking of them, a league which does not halt activity for this World Cup qualifier. They lose a lot of action at this stage. So a full docket of MLS action all over the country this weekend. The U.S. now. Convey. To Beasley. He's got a step. Velasquez can't get there. Keeps his feet. Oh boy. You know, a lot of people say when you get that chance to hit the deck, I think Beasley could have probably picked up a penalty. Reina's chance into Uncle Sam's Army.
Good opportunity for the U.S. again. Beasley, yeah, he could have went down, but cut a good ball across. There was no one there as a trailing forward, and that's where you like to see Landon Donovan inside. If he's not playing as a wide right-sided player, maybe he has the opportunity now to close that space 30 yards inside towards the center of the pitch. Maybe he's the guy trailing and behind the front man.
Despite all that has happened to El Salvador, still only down a goal. Here now in the 42nd. Cherundolo. That stays in play. Not played very well by Prado. Casey. Donovan squirts through the El Salvadorian defense. Well, question marks are again put at the end of the sentences that will be coming out of my mouth. Why?
Yeah, bad call there by the referee. This is just, look at this. Great work ethic from Landon Donovan. No foul there.
It's the second time we've seen a U.S. player trying to just get the inside lane, not using too much contact. Connor Casey did it before, and whistled for a foul. El Salvador getting the benefit of the doubt both times there. Casey. Maybe the future combination forward team with Brian McBride and Clint Mathis looking on from the bench. Zavagna. Reina. Well, we certainly challenged Landon to get involved, and he's done just that. Donovan with a cross. Beasley keeps it alive. It'll go to Convey. Donovan on the right flank. His cross in. Prado heads it out. Corner kick U.S. Desperate defending. And Santos Rivera again rolling around on the deck. Another look at the cross.
The dangerous area of the situation inside the box there, just teasing the goalkeeper just enough for him to come off. Love seeing the bodies from the USO getting in there challenging. We talked about Connor Casey, what good size he has. And look how brave he is going into the keeper again, but you know, the keeper's down one more time, Max. I mean, it looks like he may come out this situation.
I tell you what, if he does it, then maybe next time they have to just cart him off and bring in the reserve for a few minutes, because this is getting absurd, really.
You want to move the game on as much as possible. You need to be professional in this situation, and it's very, very important now for the U.S. as well to start getting, you know, not only the professionalism, but also the patience. You know, we talked about this before. Some of the key points that Bruce Arena wants this team really to execute today. The confidence, the energy, they've brought that already, but now the patience in terms of, you know, when to set the ball, when to keep it, and really dictate the pace of this game.
Eric Prado, the other player who was down as well, both are back on their feet. And these two nations, of course, pretty familiar with each other, having played on 15 occasions in competitions like the Gold Cup, in World Cup qualifiers. Here's the corner kick. Bocanegra the closest. Santos Rivera. He's down again! And Prado allowed to come on. Really, he was on the sideline, had to sit out a play, but they need at least 10 guys out there.
I'm not sure about Santos Rivera, what he's actually complaining about. The referee gave him, it's almost like a makeup call there. I mean, just because they've contacted a couple of times in the box, Rivera's come out and he's misjudged that cross again. There's no foul there. I don't see the foul.
It's the Joe Frazier rule. You go down enough times. Brian Ching. Well, we are in the stoppage time, folks. We're in the first of 8 minutes. I thought it would be more, to be honest. But that's what we got coming up. So a 53-minute half at least, with the United States in front thanks to the goal by Brian Ching. They have time to come up with another one. The ball in by Bocanegra, looking for Ching. Cleared away there by Pacheco. Gibbs. Now Reyna. Zavagnin. Back to Ching. And Zavagnin had all his momentum going into that ball.
I'd like to see Savagnin really get a strike on goal from that situation. That's a good build-up play. The U.S. really trying to dissect things through the midfield with combinations coming from the back. In a defensive midfield situation for Kerry, needs to get that ball played forward, but when he's high up like that, take advantage of the situation and get a strike on goal. Really test the keeper again, Rivera.
Kerry really, the only guy on this squad is that number 5 specialist. If he was replaced, it'd be for someone that plays a little differently in that midfield. That makes him a very valuable man for Bruce Arena right now. All the way back to Bocanegra. Convey would like to join Carlos Bocanegra in the Premiership next year if his new team, Reading, who he's featured a few times for already, can move up from the Coca-Cola Championship. Can't call it the first division anymore. Donovan.
That was the olden days.
Yeah, I know. You got to keep up.
The good old days.
Now the old third division is the first division.
The second time, really, Corey Gibbs with a suspect pass in the back. You see Bruce Arena not very happy with that. This is where the concentration, the focus needs to be there, especially in a very young defensive back line for the U.S. side today.
We mentioned how Zavagnin really the only specialist in the defensive midfield. The central defense, really those are the only guys you can play there. On the bench you have Hayduk and Vanny, they're left and right specialists. So Gibbs and Bocanegra are the guys you have to go for here.
Right, and you know Bobby Convey has played that position for DC United in the past. More of a defensive midfielder, but he likes to attack as well. And you know, really on this left side, you take a look at these two guys now. You got Bobby Convey and DeMarcus Beasley, both of them. I think Beasley's really one of the best defenders out there. Nobody really thinks about that or talks about that enough. He's a great attacking player, loads of pace, likes to run at players, very creative, but he's a very good defender.
Yep. Native of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Of course, as we mentioned, Gibbs and Bocanegra is the duo in the back. Must remind you, Eddie Pope not available for this game. Casey, the United States putting together a ton of possession. Zavagnin mishit it. Missing his targets.
Just not playing the ball quick enough, though, Max. I mean, you know,
get those sprinklers back out.
You would like to blame it on the water, wouldn't you? Really, on the pitch, but it's the players really got to get the ball off their feet quicker. In order to break down teams, especially teams that are going to be more compact and dropped off, like El Salvador is today.
Rodriguez puts a pretty nice ball in for Cerritos, but there's Cherundolo to Tim Howard, a man whose name we've mentioned only a couple times. And one was a nice pleasantry at the beginning of the match. Howard has not faced a shot today. Donovan. What's on the brakes? Looking for the cross. Too hot to handle for Reina. Savagnin! Got a lot behind it. Hit it well.
Well, the coach, you like to see that from your players. You don't mind that situation. Take the opportunity and have a crack. Test the goalkeeper maybe from distance. Even though he didn't hit the target there, at least you got the team thinking about that. Now they've got to go out, close that player down, and creates a little bit more space in behind El Salvador so that the U.S. maybe can make those diagonal runs and get in behind them more.
Gibbs skying for that ball. Zavagnin tried to do the same, couldn't reach it. Murgas. Galdamez starts it. Cerritos. Here comes Howard. I'll tell you what. Edwin Gonzalez showing a lot of pace to almost get that ball. The United States has to be a little more careful in the back.
Gonzalez making that run 40 yards from the left side of midfield, really, to try to get across and push forward. Support Cerritos, who's really been the lone striker all day.
And of course, Tim Howard just checking in with Gonzalez how his Municipal Limeño side was doing. El Salvador, as they exchanged a few words.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah. 5th place, by the way. Zavagnin. Cherundolo. Back to Zavagnin. Pressure from Rodriguez. The cross is blocked. Another corner kick. They're starting to accumulate for the U.S. Let's see if they can take advantage of one. There's the old guard of El Salvador, the savior. Proud soccer nation that played in the 1970 World Cup and the 1982 World Cup. Convey for Gibbs. Kept alive by Reina, Casey, Beasley. In the midfield, Gibbs, who was in retreat mode. Now he'll make it back to the back four. And out of the reach of Landon Donovan. We are in the 52nd minute of the first half. 7 of 8 minutes of stoppage time almost complete. By the way, remember in 1982 when El Salvador made their second World Cup, they lost to Hungary 10-1 before losing to Belgium and Argentina by more appropriate scorelines for World Cup play.
Did they play with one striker as well?
You lose 10-1, I figure you're playing with about 7 guys out there. That, of course, held in Spain. The 1970 World Cup in Mexico. Good pressure from Zavagnin, but he was involved a little too much. It'll be a free kick for the visitors from Central America. By the way, the other group, or in Group A, the other match, has Jamaica hosting Panama in Kingston. Of course, that very big for these two sides. Top 2 from each group advance to the next stage. Pacheco. Nice work from Connor Casey. He really stretched out to prevent any problems there for Tim Howard. Into the final minute of stoppage time we go. Advantage United States. I tell you, there's been some erratic decisions or decision making from our referee crew. I thought that would have certainly favored El Salvador, not the case.
I think Galdamez just was looking for an early call from the referee, fell on top of that, basically handling the ball in that situation. The ref not giving him the benefit of the doubt there.
You can't do that. All right, Brian Ching, for the second time as a U.S. international scores. It's the only goal of the match, and the United States are in front 1-0. More to come from this big World Cup qualifier right after this. Now you've got to take a chance or two if you're El Salvador, and that's exactly what they'll do. Coming out of the match is Edwin Gonzalez. And there is Victor Merino, number 7, and number 9. And I tell you what, Mejia helping the 4th official with the numbers. He'll be replacing Josue Galdamez, a forward who didn't do much in that first half of action. And we'll get ready for half number 2 momentarily as the United States unchanged. Landon Donovan, who picked up his output as the half wore on. Let's see if that continues. Fans getting back into the seats here. This is the second match of 5 in this stage of World Cup qualifying. Of course, there's other groups with a lot of important action happening this weekend in CONCACAF. As that ball comes to the near side for Cherundolo. Battling against Merino, getting by Merino. Now the cross taken by Santos Rivera.
Is exactly what I want to see from the U.S. team. Landon Donovan really pushing inside a little bit more, creating that space for Cherundolo to come forward. And if Landon Donovan can be more in the center side of the field, in the center of the pitch actually, and just getting that ball, get on the ball as much as possible between he and Claudio Reyna, that's going to really ignite this team, this U.S. side. Go forward, many creative opportunities to get in behind them.
There you see Claudio Reyna, a few more gray hairs, of course, now at 31. It's good to see it, you know?
Plenty of years left, plenty of years left.
Plenty of years left, but it's good to see that wisdom.
The knowledge and the wisdom.
Yes, that he has procured over the years. He gets that ball out wide for Cherundolo. A warning for number 9, who just came in, Diego Mejia, for that tackle on Reyna. Here's Rodriguez. He's had a good match, Rodriguez. He's a no-nonsense character, always goes forward. Taken by Casey, though. The shot, well saved by Rivera. He like stole the lunch away from the Rodriguez there and just took the shot off. Give me that, says Connor.
It's good defending from behind. Connor Casey coming back into it. You know, we talked about his size and strength going forward, but very good defensive player as well. Picking the pocket, as you say. Getting an early strike. I like to see the U.S. play a little bit quicker and get the ball moved forward off their feet.
That intended for Casey will be flagged down by Mario Guevara, pardon me. And it'll be a goal kick. Quick update as to what's happening in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. There's 3 groups of 4. The Mexico St. Vincent and Grenadines game has been postponed. St. Vincent and Grenadines were in Miami, and of course Hurricane Francis will not allow the travel from that city, and we certainly hope everyone is okay watching us down there in Florida. And stay dry, folks. Jamaica greeting Panama in this group. Canada meets Honduras at the Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Of course, Canada, that pounding they received from Guatemala at home. And Guatemala hosts Costa Rica in the Estadio Mateo Flores. Finally, St. Kitts and Nevis hosts Trinidad and Tobago at Warner Park in Basseterre.
Guatemala with that big result over Canada, 2-0. Carlos Ruiz with both those goals.
Rivera with the goal kick. Comes back up to Casey. Back into the El Salvadorian defensive end. Casey was pulled. And he's going to get a yellow card for a dive. I'll tell you what, Santos Rivera, the keeper, we've had some fun at his expense, but he came over and tried to prevent this from happening, the yellow card. Let's see if it was deserved. Well, there's certainly a tug there. He dove, but he dove because of the contact, trying to draw attention.
I think the linesman missed that, you know, really he was pulling on his strip there. They didn't pull him enough to really pull him down.
No.
Casey just going down a little bit there. Referee, you know, referee's going to have his hands full. Neil Brazan, you can tell he doesn't want to crack under pressure here. Great electric atmosphere in the stadium, Gillette Stadium. Brilliant crowd on hand for the game today.
Cherundolo for Casey. Our entire refereeing crew is from Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Brian Ching battling, winning that ball. Donovan, Cherundolo swings it off to Convey. Pushes it in just out of the reach of Reyna. U.S. will keep it hemmed in here. Bocanegra. Beasley. DeMarcus is in. flicks it wide. And El Salvador hanging on there in the end, but some invention shown by the United States, in particular, DeMarcus Beasley. Beasley and, of course, Convey came up together really through the ranks of youth soccer. And they know each other quite intimately, as both are good friends with Landon Donovan, the third member of that golden class that came up. Here's Bocanegra. Convey slips all the way through. Cerritos. First time he could really stretch out his legs. Pacheco. Ball finally lost to Wagner. Plenty of space for Ching. Gets it through to Donovan. Should have maybe get a little more width. Near side Marino. Gives it away. Reyna. Onside ball. Casey. The cross for Ching. Desperate defending for El Salvador. You got to take your hat off to them, but the U.S. hunting high and low. Velasquez down as we see the replay again. Casey. Good idea. Almost found its way to Ching there. That is the captain. That is the captain who is down, and he's going to receive some attention to that left knee. Another look here. Good start and holding his run there.
You see Prado, the way he went down to defend that ball, he actually tucked his knee in behind. Just maybe a little bit of a tweak, a little strain there. But again, El Salvador trying to, exploit the situation with the referee and slow down this game. It's only going to benefit them. When the U.S. start getting on form, they start playing the ball quickly, they're moving it. El Salvador finds a way through injury to slow down the game and really, delay the opportunities for the U.S. to get any sort of rhythm at all in the play.
But still, after all that, only a goal in it. The U.S. need that second. A little peace of mind. 9 players on the pitch right now for El Salvador. The ball in from Convey. Headed away. Reyna. Now Beasley. Looking to take advantage of only 8 field players, the U.S. as Prado still remains on the sideline, has not been waved in yet. Now he has by the referee. Pacheco blocks. Cherundolo! Off of Ching. Actually, in fact, you see Prado clear it out. He wasn't sure if Ching touched it last or Jorge Rodriguez did. Played it safe, which is the right decision, so it's a throw. Donovan. Landed at 22 already with his 54th cap, has 16 international goals. He has really turned it on at the international level as of late. As has DeMarcus Beasley, who, remember, those last days with Chicago didn't do much for his club. And here he is skirting in. Tucked away by Prado. Reyna. Marino.
Good work ethic from El Salvador, seeing Cerritos coming back and really closing down the play early, shutting down the U.S. team from the back. And then you see those, that's what's going to happen in the second half. Individually, they are going to work. And when they do that, they're going to try to compact that in certain areas of the field, whether it be the right side, the left side, or down the middle, and really try to shut them down and not create any, give any opportunities to the U.S. team. And we see, really, the goalkeeper, Rivera, hasn't really been tested much this second half.
Take your hat off to El Salvador, a brave nation, the brave squad that hoping that a horrible run of form the last few years where they've been out early, losing the size they shouldn't have. They hope that's behind them and they can be a player here. Most pundits would believe the U.S. will get through and then Jamaica, the number 2. But El Salvador feels that the gap's been closed there. Convey! One too many steps. Stopped by Velasquez.
His touch just ran away from him there a little bit. Did well to really attack the ball and move through the space, but his technique let him down just a bit.
Behind the Salvadorian defense against Convey. Rivera just got a piece of it. Cleared away by Pacheco. The United States with a huge percentile of the possession here in the opening minutes of the second half, but still have not tested Santos Rivera in goal. El Salvador missing the likes of their young phenom Rudy Corrales, the Brazilian import Nene. They're not going to have much attacking flair, but the defenders have played well.
Corrales brings loads of energy as well to that El Salvadorian side. Good technical ability from Nene. So they are missing those 2 players today.
Merino gives some other players a chance. Pacheco. Merino's one of those players. Cerritos. Of course, El Salvador, you remember the likes of Mauricio Cienfuegos and Raul Diaz Arce leading the way in the 90s. Cherundolo, Donovan. Advantage was going to be played, but it was too brutal of a tackle, and Pacheco. And that's only the 4th yellow shown. Unfortunately, 2 of those yellows were for Denis Alas.
Just showing Landon Donovan, look how quick his feet are here. Just getting this ball out in front of him. Kind of a lazy tackle from Pacheco. You got another player coming over to Cerritos there. Close down. Two players, you really just need to stay on your feet. But in the 56th minute, we're talking about U.S., how many opportunities they have. Only 8 shots really on goal so far.
Almost 3 headers there. First was Donovan and then Beasley. We have to wonder, why is he on the floor there? All eyes turn to Santos Rivera. He was shaking his hands. It wasn't me.
Right, and this is, I'll tell you, Bruce Arena is starting to look. They got a lot of players warming up on the side. Look, take a look at this. What's happening?
Oh boy, we got a Pier Sixer in the Salvadorian goal. Some of the players, I think Connor Casey was pointing to the stand saying that something was thrown from there that may have hit DeMarcus Beasley.
There have been a couple of bottles thrown onto the pitch various times throughout this game.
Well,
we get that many times.
Yeah.
We play against El Salvador, Costa Rica, all the CONCACAF teams. And it might have been the goalkeeper there catching him with his foot.
There are things being thrown from the decks, and Salvador, a proud nation with some wonderful people, and watch it. Well, why is his leg there? Why is his foot out there?
That's a terrible situation there. Santos Rivera purposely lifts his foot up there to catch DeMarcus Beasley on the ground.
It was one of the things where, I believe he tried to make it look like an accident, but why is his foot up?
He's lucky he didn't get caught. Here he is stirring up things with DeMarcus. This is where DeMarcus, the rest of the U.S. side, they can't lose their concentration what they're trying to accomplish today. They're trying to get a win. They want to get 3 points. They want to have players healthy on the field, especially going into Panama on Wednesday night.
Well, Leo Brazan has his hands full. El Salvador playing a man short already, at risk of playing down 2 men. Madness out there.
Jorge Rodriguez, the captain for El Salvador, number 17, showing his experience, trying to get his team back, but playing the game as well. But this is where Claudio Reyna needs to get a hold of the U.S. side and really get them focused, Max. They can't lose concentration in today's game.
Claudio Reyna went right after Santos Rivera, and we might get some clarity here, but I can't recall a match like this with so many stoppages throughout, and there's the risk of even more. Neil Brizan's going to walk away as if nothing happened. Watch again. There's no reason for that foot to be up. The ball's out.
Now, he purposely went to inflict a little bit of pain on DeMarcus Beasley.
He looked down.
I don't know how he got away with that.
Yeah. And he tried to make it look an accident, pulling it away. It just...
That's a disgrace.
Yeah.
How the linesman let that go, I don't know. Just got to follow the play, keep up with the play, tell the referees all the time.
Santos Rivera has had an eventful match for mostly all the wrong reasons. A 5-minute stretch where he was writhing in pain and then back on his feet after that. It looked like it was a serious injury, but not serious enough to keep him out. And now this little episode. Convey. The United States looking to add to their shot total. They have 8. El Salvador with 1 shot. Beasley. I'd say 145 pounds of pure terror. He doesn't back down from anyone. Free kick, Reina flicks it in, headed away by Prado. And now Merino charges. Zavagnin will shadow him through the midfield.
That's brilliant work from Victor Merino. Really keeping possession and running with pace, trying to really give his team a little bit of a chance. And there again, another wasted opportunity for the U.S. team. Brian Ching, you got to take care of the ball. Slow down, and this is what we talked about in the first half, Max. You've got to be patient. Every one of the players really has an opportunity to step on the ball and control it, dictate the pace of the game. And they don't want to be a U.S. player right now, giving the ball away. Because I'll tell you, Bruce Arenas looking to make changes. You've got Clint Mathis on the side. You've got Brian McBride on the side. You've got Kobe Jones on the side. Frankie Haydick as well. Loads of players that can come in and make a difference in this game.
Here's a cross for Casey. He chests it down. Looking to turn. Plays it safely back for Reina. Dangerous ball. Donovan. Some of these touches getting away from the Americans. Back in. Reina. Ching. Not cleared away. Cherundolo.
Well, no need to panic right now, but obviously you want to be cleaner in terms of your situations around the box.
And at risk of sounding like a broken record, Santos Rivera is
untested.
Down. He's down on the ground.
And he's down again. So there was no shots on goal, okay, but Rivera, we see that he's down, he's pulling a cramp. So the referee has got to get control of the situation here. You can't allow a goalkeeper, this is his 3rd time.
You've got to put him on the sideline and let play continue. And if someone wants to go in and put the gloves on, so be it. But we had 8 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. We might have a similar total or more if this continues. I think if you go down 2-3 times, that's an automatic substitution. You bring in the backup keeper.
Well, either that, Max, or the referee himself, Brizan, comes over with the yellow card and says, get up. Okay, and if he can't get up, then you
drink
say,
more milk
go.
so you don't get injured so much. You've been warned.
Got milk commercial going on?
Get some calcium. He's back up.
I'll tell you what, I'm shocked he's doing okay. He's going to be all right.
Keep the meat wagon in the tunnel. We're all right. I tell you what, some wonderful regalia from the Salvadorian supporters. They got the flags out. They've come out in force. Good for them. Maybe these two will be the squads that advance. The Jamaicans will certainly have something to say about that. But hey, El Salvador already got that victory in Panama.
They've got the head start. They got the 3 points. Top of the table coming into this match. Good result against Panama, as you said beforehand, going 10 men. Throwing a man down as well, pulling out that result. U.S., confident playing at home. We've always talked about how well they have done in the Boston area. Playing in Foxboro, 11-1-3.
Ooh, Connor Casey did very well. He battled trying to keep that ball in. I like the way Casey's performed. Of course, not really featuring so much in his Bundesliga side. Prado just had the inside lane.
It's a situation where now Bruce Arena starts shaking his head saying, how many opportunities are going to go by the wayside? What can I do to change this game? Bring in a player, maybe like a Kobe Jones with speed, to run at somebody down the line. Bring in a Brian McBride, put him up top.
No activity yet on the sideline. A mysterious call as Boca Negra was whistled for the foul on Mejia. And this is the first time El Salvador's been at this end. And again, as we're in the 66th minute, the U.S. only up a goal are in a very precarious position. Cerritos is there. He will start to back away. It looks like it will fall onto the shoulders of Gilberto Murgas. The wall set. Tim Howard, yes, I haven't mentioned his name. He's ready too. Pacheco, a left footer who might get into the fray. It is Pacheco. It's through, it's blocked, it's cleared. Corner kick El Salvador.
Those are the dangerous situations, Max. You just hit it on the head. When you talk about the focus and concentration, you've got to be aware, you've got to be alert.
Laid in, Tim Howard, full stretch. And now the counterattack. Beasley up on the left flank. Casey, Donovan, and Convey in the front. Here comes Reyna, here comes Ching. It goes, nope, intercepted. Cerritos helping out the defense. One back by Zavagnin. He has all sorts of options. Reyna. Ching keeps it alive. Cherundolo. Desperate defending from El Salvador. Landon Donovan into the 18. Donovan's cross blocked. That was Velasquez. Cherundolo. Beasley. Knocked out of there by Guevara. Everyone getting involved on defense. They're on their heels. America charges forward. And almost a showstopper from Convey.
And this is better from the U.S. side. We talked about the quickness of play, the energy, and when you move the ball and you're moving off the ball, you're going to create opportunities. Here you see a ball coming in from Bobby Convey, just going wide past the post. Really would like to see that hitting the target inside the box. You got three players advancing forward. We talked about the counterattack situation. Players are playing forward. DeMarcus Beasley's got to take better care of that ball. He can't be giving up that ball. Run at the players and make something happen. Commit a defender.
Really, and we saw that counterattack. The United States haven't had that many opportunity in that sort of situation because obviously El Salvador hasn't had much ball at the other end. Zavagnin. Licks it in. Ching. U.S. showing some invention going from left to right, finding different avenues. Here's Corey Gibbs.
So you're gonna have to bring on a Kobe Jones. You see him warming up on the sideline. He's ready to go. We talked about it before, Max. Brian McBride was available as well, warming up. Clint Mathis, Eddie Lewis, but I think Kobe Jones, they're gonna bring him in, try to play off a defender. Oh, look at that!
Landon Donovan! A direct route! Beats Santos Rivera, who's on his feet, but down 2 goals.
Brilliant effort from Landon.
Did it all by himself, John.
Great individual effort from a dynamic player, Landon Donovan. Look at him just picking his corner, using the defender so well as a screen for the goalkeeper, bending it around, shaping it. That's a finisher right there. There's a difference between striking the ball and goal and finishing. And he finds his corner and picks his spot, places that ball away very well. And now we see Kobe Jones coming in for Steve Cherundolo. Cherundolo going out as a right back, and this is going to be good for really CJ. Kobe Jones to get forward, try to even bring a little bit more of another creative opportunity for a player, another option really, as a dynamic player. Kobe Jones, experienced, he's been in these situations before, even back to the 1998 qualifying game, the last game of the 4-2 game which we won in that time.
And involved in the match versus Jamaica as a substitute. Free kick for the United States. That was an enormous goal for the U.S. Convey. That may just take all the wind out of El Salvador's sails.
And you see that space in the back post? Kobe Jones is there. Bobby Convey can get his head up. That's another opportunity for another player going through into the box.
By the way, cap 162 for Kobe Jones.
That was 45 times at 93, though, for the U.S. before Miltonovic.
I remember you telling me this story. It's like, Kobe's going to go as a right back. How does this change the formation for Bruce Arena? And do you think he may have had second thoughts after the goal was scored by Landon Donovan?
I don't think so. I think what Bruce wanted to do is just throw in another scoring opportunity for a player getting forward, and that's a Kobe Jones really in the back position. But he has an electrifying pace. We know what he can do going forward. He creates so many opportunities when he opens up the game and attacks a player. So I'd like to see Kobe pushing forward just a little bit more from the back.
You see DeMarcus Beasley, the amount of pace he picks up, that when he's brought down, it can be quite a violent collision there. But he'll be all right. Up 2 goals, the U.S. looking to put this out of reach. 70 minutes behind us. It's Reina Rivera.
No better time for that goal to come as well. We did talk about the difference in the U.S. They needed to pick up the speed of play, create a little bit more opportunity in and around the box, and test Rivera a little bit more. And there we see Landon Donovan with a great individual effort, lifting the team now. This is a perfect opportunity for the U.S. really to kill off the game.
Kobe Jones. Thanks to Bora, now the most capped player in the world, really.
Absolutely. I've been for a few players back in the day.
Casey. Again, going forward. So goals now by Bryant Ching and Landon Donovan. Dominic Kadir somewhere smiling, I'm sure. Saying if I'm going to lose my players, at least they can contribute, and they have. Donovan heads it down to Reina. Reina, of course, playing for Kevin Keegan at Man City, playing alongside guys like Nicholas Anelka and Sean Wright Phillips, bringing that know-how back to the U.S. team. Bocanegra. Gibbs. Kobe Jones, the lone substitute for the U.S. thus far. His cross in. He was involved in that goal eventually scored by Bryant Ching. Back to Reina. He'll get a shot off. Too deep to really make an impact.
You see Kobe Jones bringing on an effort straight away, really, just taking on a player, trying to deliver more into the box, and that's what you want to see from the U.S. You've got to put the ball into the danger area if you're going to score that extra goal. You know, still would like to see maybe a Brian McBride come on here. Loads of experience, been in this situation before. Maybe go up top, he brings that size. He also holds the ball very well, and he can move off the ball. Very dangerous.
Onside, Casey goes inside. Can't get the shot off, though. One touch to many. It was
Guevara. Great defensive play from Guevara. Coming back there and just really picking off the ball off his feet.
Next spotter.
Sí. Yo hablo español también.
Super. Good work by the likes of Guevara and Velasquez and certainly Rodriguez. Headed away. Beasley with one step. Beasley still with it. What balance! Reina, all sorts of time for the cross. Plays it in, but there's Santos Rivera. Oh, he had Ching short. He had Bocanegra long.
Could he possibly have whipped that ball in there hard and low? Plenty of bodies in the box, put into the danger area, just across the 6. Just nailed that ball, but he went for the delicate chip. I think he was trying to hit the back post. Just didn't get enough on it there, Claudio.
All right, here at Gillette Stadium, our attendance for this World Cup qualifier, 25,266. Mejia. Of course, the United States with the lead here, but I tell you what, goal differential may come to pass. So getting more goals essential and not conceding them also pivotal. Ching, as Brian McBride is up on the sideline.
Very good point, Max. I mean, you want to take advantage of your opportunities. You're playing at home. You obviously want to get the 3 points. You know, Bruce Arena has already let his team know that. Look, you've got to go out there and attack them and create opportunities. Put the ball in the back of the net. The goal differential will come into play as it goes further down the qualification road. And it becomes more difficult when you go away from home. To get a point in Jamaica was very important. Now we come back home. You'd like to bury El Salvador, put more balls in the back of the net, so they have a better comfortable lead going in against Panama away from home on Wednesday night.
Yeah, and you play El Salvador again in this process, but it'll be in San Salvador, so keep that in mind. Before the free kick, Brian McBride will be coming in for Connor Casey. Good day for Casey. He is a favorite of Bruce Arena, and sometimes that's the ire up of some of the media who cover U.S. soccer, but the more I see of Casey, the more I like. Is it good enough to keep Brian McBride out of the starting 11? We shall see. Is Casey now making his 5th international appearance, still yet to get an international goal. This guy scored plenty for the U.S. though. Comby's free kick. Brian McBride, his 79th cap, has 25 international goals. He plays at Fulham, a teammate of Carlos Bocanegra.
Brian McBride, always dangerous. So we talked about before the strength and size of Casey and how he can move off the ball as well. He's got good feet, but a guy like Brian McBride, just a little bit more of a dimension because of his experience. You know, where to be on the field, where to move off the ball. And I like to see Brian. I like seeing him coming on the field.
Kobe Jones, as Cherundolo did, working up that right flank. It ends up as a goal kick. The U.S. having made 2 substitutions now. Next Wednesday, a reminder, you can see the United States in their 3rd group qualifier against Panama. After that, they'd have played everyone in their group. And really, a game, of course, you can see on Fox Sports Road. You get a win there, and you get a win here, hoping they can hang on here. You're in the driver's seat 3 matches in.
Absolutely, but it's not going to be easy. You see here the U.S. and another counter.
McBride. Ooh, they took a little bit off of that.
Took a bit of a deflection there. Brian McBride, I love the way he attacks the defense. He runs right at the heart of the defense, commits a player, and then cuts inside here. Look at this. Just having a go. He doesn't hold back at all. Got to take your opportunities. Got to get shots on goal.
McBride being tightly marked by Eric Prado. Prado, the tallest member of the Salvadorian team. Convey, Rivera. Right back in. That from Reina.
It's a good strike from Claudio Reina. Very technical on the ball. A very good passer of the ball, but very good strike as well. Catching that in the air on the volley. First trying to have a go back at open net, really. Rivera comes out and meets that ball. Good ball served in from Bobby Convey. Now it's all about the quality in the final third, Max. If you can get that 3rd goal, it'd be brilliant.
Flicked on there by Ching. McBride. Donovan. Nice ball for Reina. He's had some practice with these crosses. He goes low this time. Easy play from Prado. Gibbs. Some work there over the next few days for Reina to perhaps perform. Donovan.
Not the ball we're looking for, really.
McBride. Look at Donovan go. That was like a passing drill where you pass to stationary targets and get the ball back each time. A 1-2 drill, if you will.
Good dynamic combination play through the midfield. And again, Landon Donovan really running from deep. 30, 40 yards, linking up with Brian McBride. See Clint Mathis as well, warming up on the outside there. Getting ready to come in. Another change maybe for Bruce Arena's team.
Certainly tells you Bruce thinking, hey, let's get some more goals here.
Absolutely. You know, he wants to close off the game, but he's thinking about the goal differential as well, Max. You know, down the line of World Cup qualifying, it becomes harder and harder, especially when you go away from home.
If you want to know about goal differential, just ask the Cuban national team that scored 3 goals against Costa Rica. We're 3-3 overall, but that wasn't good enough to get him in based on the away goals. You've got to keep an eye on that. Velasquez. Now Rivera. We have played 80 minutes. Beasley. Oh, a little bump. Beasley! The window, the lane, if you will, closed. And Rivera able to deny the cross. What a talent, though. DMB. Cerritos to an offside Mejia. Tim Howard looking to get a sweat going as he's been there pretty much by himself throughout. Interesting substitution here because this changes the formation somewhat. I think Reina obviously will drop back, but Zavagnin coming out for Mathis.
Claudio really, he has been that holding player at times in the midfield in the past for U.S. national team. So he won't have to adjust too much there. Really just want to get Clint Mathis on the ball as much as possible.
The native of Conyers, Georgia. 27 years of age, playing in Germany with Cherundolo at Hannover 96. Had some injury concerns, but Mathis ready to go here. He will play in that midfield. Murgas.
Bobby. Stay back. Stay back.
And over here, Clint Mathis a little bit there, telling Bobby Convey, stay back. Bruce wants you to stay back. Maybe a little bit concerned, you know, just don't want to give up that goal late in the game, do you?
No. A rare sequence of touches for El Salvador in the American half. Back it goes to Prado. The United States with an early goal from Brian Ching. They get a second here from Landon Donovan. It's been an El Salvadorian side that have faced 13 American shots. El Salvador have only had 1 shot. And remember, El Salvador playing a man short after a red card due to a, from what we've been told, a jewelry malfunction. No?
No comment.
No comment.
Well, what we've been told is that the referee warned players about wearing jewelry in the game. And second yellow card, I guess he gave it to
Denny Salas?
Yes, and sent him off
his chain
for
on?
wearing jewelry, his chain. That's what we've heard. I don't know how much truth there is behind that.
Well, we wanted you to indulge there. McBride, all sorts of time. Pushed it.
Unlucky for Brian. The ball just, you know, weighing up a little bit too high for him. He hesitated just that much, but wanted to find an open space for him to get that ball, get it down. Just miscued that one. Didn't get the best on it. That's good quality play coming in. We talked about the short, long in the games, moving the ball. Good ball wide into the box, laid back as well from Brian Ching to McBride. Let's see more opportunities from the U.S. like that.
Oh, Bocanegra just consumed strikers with his spot-on play. Beasley. He can exhaust a defender in a hurry. The ball in from Mathis. Prado makes himself big. Mathis again. Reina in a deeper position. Ching. Mathis. Kobe Jones. A bit unsure of what to do there. Reina Kobe Jones. Mathis!
Hold the phone, he could be injured again.
He's up, he's up!
Good from Mathis here, just trying to place this ball over the top. Really looking like he's trying to shape it to the far post corner, but it doesn't get over there. Does not hit the frame from that distance there, but many players, as you can see, Kobe Jones getting forward as well.
Here's Merino, he's been a breath of fresh air for El Salvador. How about Landon flicking that one back?
Merino's played very well for El Salvador. Did a good job, his work ethic's been brilliant, but holding the ball as well.
Out of the reach of Landon Donovan. A good idea, though, from Kobe Jones. May have overhit it. As you can see, some fatigue setting in for the El Salvadorian defenders. More reason for the United States to go after goal number 3. Look at Velasquez. He's lurched over. Prado's worked his tail off, but it's just been too much work. Boca Negra offside, though, on Mejia.
Well, right from the get-go, Max, in the first 5 minutes, the U.S., loads of energy, attacking many different options as well. And I think they've really, this is just a good performance. Not a great performance from the U.S. team, but a very good performance. You know, solid under the circumstances. You know, referee lost a little bit control of this game early on as well. The crowd, the atmosphere here, we've seen a few things that our viewers at home do not see.
A few little Donnybrooks from here.
Some beer, some water, some bottles being thrown around a little bit here.
It's the greatest invention here in stadiums, the plastic beer bottle. Merino. Mejia. He's got a chance here, but he's going against perhaps the best defender in the Americas in Boca Negra. And he goes toe-to-toe with Mejia. Kobe Jones up the right flank now. Kobe Jones. Ching. Convey not heeding the words of Bruce Arena, moving forward. McBride, Mathis the volley. Wow, I don't think you get a point for that in Gaelic football. That was a good distance.
I think Mathis there just saying, I'm going to take a chance no matter what. I've only come into the game with 10 minutes left. Why not? I'm going to let one rip. Unfortunately, did not even come near to the goal, but those are the strikes that either go in the upper 90 or they go into row K.
Or to Rhode Island. Corey Gibbs, good match for Gibbs. An impeccable match from Boca Negra as he gets it up to Convey. So as we heading towards the full 90 minutes, who has the inside track perhaps as your MVP of this game? A lot of candidates. A good team effort as we normally see from Bruce Arena.
Well, I have to talk about Landon Donovan, what he's brought to the game. Not just his goal, but I think his energy. Now, early on, I would like to see him on the ball a little bit more. But he's done very well. But Carlos Boca Negra, what a defensive, solid defensive effort from him. He's got to be one of the candidates as well.
I would tend to lean in his direction as well, as it was just perfect. Every clearance, judged everything spot on. Got in the attack a couple times as well.
His distribution out the back has been brilliant as well.
89th minute, free kick. There was a handball there by Pacheco. Cross in, Mathis, the move. Mathis, stretched out for Santos Rivera.
Good idea there from Mathis, trying to chip the keeper to the back post, just didn't get enough on it.
Mathis intent on leaving here with another international goal. Has had a couple looks. We will, I think, have a good amount of stoppage time. I'm thinking 5 minutes. Thanks to Mr. Rivera. Reina, perfect weight.
That's a brilliant ball as well. Into the second forward. And that's what Brian McBride, what he brings to you. A bit of wealth, a bit of experience where he's going to make that run in behind. Open up the game just that much more.
Mathis! Feel like some high altitude here.
I'll tell you what, though, I like having Mathis on the pitch. He's one of the few players who likes to take that ball, put it down, and get his head down and try to strike a chance from distance. And when you do that, we talked about it early on. If you can do that from distance and open up and have a player come out and close you down, then it's going to give other opportunities for Brian McBride, DeMarcus Beasley, Ching in behind.
And we've seen him as a striker, but here a little deeper, he gets to try that long-range effort. We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time. Oh, a chance there in front. Boca Negra again doing the defending to Nai Rodriguez. El Salvador getting a set piece opportunity. It doesn't happen all that often.
Outswinger! Outswinger! Outswinger!
Okay.
Pacheco. Boca Negra again. He is something. He just knows where to be. And the danger cleared for now. Rivera. 3 minutes of stoppage time left. Nice header from McBride. Velasquez. Donovan's going to get some width here. He will attack. Plays it in. Ching. Pulled up his run. He knew he wasn't going to catch up, but it'll be a goal kick.
Played just a little bit too far for Ching, especially on the wet surface. We talked about it early on. It did soak the field. The ball just skipping there. I'd like to see a second runner. Maybe DeMarcus Beasley coming on the back post. Maybe pick that one up. But good running off the ball. I'd like to see McBride get on maybe a little bit earlier, as well as Mathis in this game. Obviously, they're creating some opportunities for the U.S. late in the match. Still might steal that third goal, though.
I think it's a very real goal they need to pursue here. Mejia. Gibbs. Now Reyna. Beasley. One touch. Ching. There's a chance for McBride at the far side. There'll be a corner kick. The U.S. really creating something out of nothing here in the 3rd minute of stoppage time.
Brian McBride really trying to force that corner situation, which he does with the hard work. But again, lack of quality from the corner of the set play.
A tired corner from Reyna. Left it well short. Convey. So the U.S. get ready for travel to Panama City. Off to the canal. The Isthmus of the Americas. And here's the goal kick from San. You like that one, huh?
Oh, very. The Isthmus. I love it.
Really, Bruce Arena making one comment about preparation for this game is that the players had time to get relaxed and rested after the trip from Europe for many of their players. That wasn't the case with the Jamaica match. It kind of sprung in onto the schedule. But now everyone's got the rest and they will stay together before the trip to Panama. And stoppage there as Corey Gibbs is brought down. We have just about completed our stoppage time allotment. Mathis was hoping for a goal. It doesn't look like it's in the cards just yet.
We talk about that next game against Panama as well. Bruce Arena, I think he's got to be fairly happy, with this result. He wanted to win, wanted to get the 3 points. It's not over yet, and well, there it is.
It's over now.
I think it's all over. It is now.
It is my favorite call of all time. And the U.S. get a very nice victory. 2-0 over El Salvador. It was one they were very leery not to let get away from them. And they get the 3 points, and for the time being are alone and top of the group here in Group A.